if you picked up one, and Monique has more if you don't have one, is the most recent copy of the Declaration of Protective Restriction for our institution. We had a meeting with the committee on Thursday. I've lost the whole week. On Thursday, which went well. That meeting is on the website now, in case you want to see what was discussed.
Well, I'm not gonna take it, because she didn't, no, there's no more, it's okay. I can listen.
Is there a problem?
We still have no copies. It's okay, I can listen.
She went to make more.
Oh, okay.
How many do we need?
One. I need one.
Okay, there's another one over here, so she went to make more copies and she'll be back. We have her on a tether. It's Saturday after all. All right, do you need a little time or do you want to get right into it?
Since everybody got these last time,
Yes,
then this is an update,
this is an update.
so I think that's the only thing that we need to discuss, would be the update. Everybody else theoretically had a copy of this and could look it over themselves.
She went to make more copies, yes, ma'am.
Does anybody have anything left over from the first workshop
Because I don't have one here.
last month?
I'm sorry.
This is your opportunity to give us input. Give us what for, tell us what you like, what you don't like.
I think it would be wise to date this, since there were so many that were handed out at the Christmas visiting. I know that it,
You can date it today and we'll take that under advisement, yes, thank you.
oh, sure.
This is version 2.0,
Yes.
Windows 10.
Thank goodness for Windows 10, by the way, I like that. And I don't even have a touch screen. I know you haven't had a chance to look at this, but my concern is that the people who were at the last meeting had some concerns, and I don't know whether we've addressed them all, or if you want to tell me what those were. We obviously have continuous grammar and spelling and things like this, but we catch them each time we go over them. But more comments on content than anything, as far as I'm concerned.
I have a question, can I ask a question?
Yes,
Has the lawyer seen this?
they will after you're done.
Oh, they haven't seen it yet?
This is what we're waiting for.
Okay.
We want to give them as close to a final as we can give, so it doesn't have to go back and forth to the attorney. It gets expensive.
Yeah, maybe it gets really expensive.
Myrna, there were a couple, I think, Monique did a wonderful job picking up on all those changes at our last meeting we made.
Wait a minute, she's coming in the door, might even be a
I want
compliment.
to use the, Dan, I want to use the.
No, Monique did a great job on changing these over to be in concurrence with what we all agreed upon and came to conclusions on. Sorry, can you hear me?
We can now.
Oh, you can now. Yeah, I'll be careful what I say. There were a couple of things that Ann noticed on page 4 that we may want to consider just a little slight rewording on. But under number 3, I think it's the second sentence, it starts out, owner members may amend or repeal a bylaw change by majority
My
vote.
goodness, do I have a different page for it?
Jeff J.
It's J, not T.
J.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
At that time, it was, we thought that it was just gonna be the owner members may repeal, that they wouldn't be able to amend. The amendment would have already been made by the
You
board.
want to take that out?
Well, that's a consideration, otherwise I suppose it could be considered that that would allow the opportunity for the board to present a proposed amendment for the membership to vote on, but I don't know that it would be necessary. It may be, the intent was just to give the members the right to say, hey, we don't like what you changed, we wanna get rid of it.
You don't want them to have a right to change it?
Well, they would have a right to repeal anything we did.
I'm asking those, I
How
mean,
could,
we,
if you
if,
put something to a vote though, I mean, you couldn't, how are they gonna be able to draft and make an amendment and a change?
but they have the opportunity to do that as part of the process. I mean, if they can throw one of us out, they can surely change the bylaw.
Well, when we discussed this yesterday, the consensus was that the board could, to change a bylaw, and then before the next annual meeting, we would list those, we would present those changes to the membership to either vote to repeal or keep what we put into effect. That way, if everybody agrees, we don't have to wait for a year for it to go into effect. We don't make very many bylaw changes.
I think that you're talking different area than you're talking, right? I thought that the difference was in amending or in repealing. I find the idea of amending, the members being able to amend.
Just explain to me the logistics of how our members could amend.
Oh, you want that? We can leave that out, that's not a problem.
Well, we don't leave it out, but we want to do something about the rewording.
So we're going to keep amend, but
No, we're going to keep repeal.
Repeal,
You
and
all
remove
have already-
I'm not arguing that, I wanna know about amend. Are we throwing that out?
That
I
would,
would throw that out there.
All right,
I would take it, take.
Yes, I
amend-
agree.
Amend or.
Yeah,
Take the amendment.
okay, now,
so that it reads, may repeal a bylaw by, bylaw change by a majority vote of the owner members voting thereon.
Yeah.
there's one other thing.
the logistics on that, by the way, are a little bit difficult too. Go ahead.
See where y'all are.
On J.
Page 4J on the bottom.
The members expressly provide the board of directors may amend or repeal bylaws, is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Well, the sentence that
reading.
starts owner members.
Actually, that
Oh,
sentence
owner
starts
members
with
members
except
with different
when changes are
Oh,
amended.
okay, a
it's-
different sentence. Yeah, so changes.
They may repeal, in other words, it will read owner members may repeal a bylaw change by majority vote of the owner members voting thereon. Such a vote will be conducted, and here's the next thing, it says, before the next scheduled annual membership meeting. And maybe that needs to be just for a little more clarity to say, conducted in concurrence with the next scheduled meeting, because the vote actually, people vote prior to the meeting, but then it's not disclosed or announced until the meeting. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, I think
Clarify.
everybody knows what it means, but
Shall we clarify that so that even the people who don't know what it means know what it means?
that's great.
Okay, yeah.
That was a concern
We'll
that
do
one of my
that.
directors had.
My concern was that we don't need to have have to pay for another vote. We don't need to pay for a vote before the annual meeting.
She thinks that it
It
says that
should
we're
be
gonna
happen at the it should be on the annual meeting
Well, not everybody is,
notice.
That's not what it's saying.
What does it say?
It's saying,
Maybe I missed it.
that's why we're clarifying it. It's not very clear. What we really mean is that it will be done at the regular election with, and sent out at the same time.
So maybe if it just said will be conducted in concurrence with the next annual membership meeting. that would do it.
That's what I understood, the way I understood it would be done. Because I
Okay,
don't
well,
want-
that's what it-
Don't want to cost us.
But we
any money.
haven't said it well, that's what you're
That's
saying.
what I'm saying, it just needs to be reworded.
Yes,
some
okay.
way to be clear.
We will clarify that, right? Anything else? Mr. Hahn caught a kind of an interesting one. We had non-performing lots. We've changed that to non-performance lots. Otherwise, he had all these lots standing up and doing dances, which is kind of cool. Was there anything that concerns you at the last meeting? Go ahead.
I can't find it, but I remember that there were several places where the word charter was used
Yes,
as
we-
opposed to membership.
and we did try to fix that.
It's under the charter membership, and we added membership between charter and number bill.
No, but
It
in the
was,
body,
Oh, yeah,
there were points where the individual could, I don't know,
yes, that was,
redeem
that
their
was
charter or
also,
whatever. The word
correct, that was
charter
under
was-
memberships,
Yeah.
and then later on in another section. And I think we changed that as you suggested.
and added that additional paragraph. It's on page 9,
It's under building sites?
yes, page 9, number 2.
That's right, that's right. Page 9, number 2, under building sites.
So do we need to add charter to that, or,
No, he was just
No.
making sure we had membership in there.
oh, okay.
While you're on that paragraph, I have a question.
Yes.
You want to leave in the sentence that says member owners may not restrict access?
Did we take it out?
I took the second sentence out, but you wanted to leave the first one in for the
That would
attorney.
be
to
under
read.
number 2,
Oh,
part 5.
we want to find out what the attorney says on
Okay, fine.
I'd like to make a statement if I could.
that. Yes.
My personal opinion of this, the first thing I read on this was the second one, association is abbreviation for Fort Clark Association, which is a nonprofit organization. Also, the word association is you inserted property owners association. And to my thinking, this whole change, that's what it's headed towards. We started about 10 years ago with this idea that this is a homeowners association. And all you're doing with all these changes is proceeding more down that path to try to prove that we are a homeowners association. It says right there in that first sentence that this is what this is all about. And I don't know why that you want to make it a homeowners association. For the past 10 years, this is what's been happening. And I don't know whether you ever applied with the state to become a homeowner association, but the state does not list the Fort Clark as an association as a homeowner association. It is a corporation. We are members in a corporation, not a homeowners association. And I don't know the reason why you continue to doing that. It started back with Mr. Holloman, and it went on with Mr. Winchell, and now Miss Hayden has just pushed it. And I don't know, I can't visualize why you want to do all this, if you could.
I understand your concern.
Pardon?
I do understand your concern.
No, I don't understand the concern.
No,
Why
I said
you wanna
I
make-
do understand
You
it.
understand why you want to make it a homeowner association?
I don't think that has anything to do with this meeting.
You don't think?
We are not responding to you today.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you that this is my thought about the changes you've made.
I appreciate
It says
that.
right there that it says property, you made it a property owners association. Like this year, you voted out people and didn't give them a vote that about 200 people that you blacklist off and said, we don't want your vote, that's paying dues. They've been paying dues every year, but you said, we don't want your vote anymore because you're not in the homers. Anyway, I'll just shut up and let it go on.
Well, let's let Dan give you
Thank you.
his
Thank you
feeling.
for the chance to.
Sir, if I could help clarify it for you a bit. To start with, there are legally homeowner associations that are incorporated corporations, and there are those that are not. We are one that is incorporated and is a corporation. As to the nonprofit corporation, the Fort Clark Springs was incorporated under the nonprofit corporation laws in, I believe, 1971. However, we do not meet the criteria to be a nonprofit corporation, and the IRS does not recognize us as a nonprofit corporation. Even though we were incorporated under that law, that doesn't mean we are. Further, homeowner associations are defined by the Texas law. Whether we call ourselves, whatever we call ourselves, doesn't matter. We are subject to those laws based on the criteria of the Texas state law of what constitutes a property owners, homeowners association. Terms are used interchangeably. And under that law, non-owners of any property, people that don't own anything in this association or in our jurisdiction cannot vote. That's the law. That's not our decision. And I know some of us may like it, some of us may not like it, but that's what it is. So we could call ourselves whatever we want, but we'd still be subject to Property Code 209 and also subject to the Business Organization Code, Chapter 22, which overrules Property Code 209. So actually, the Business Organization Code, which all corporations are subject to, are the final word legally on our operation. I hope that helps you with it. I don't know what else I could tell you.
Can I make one statement? That doesn't sound like it's on.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I was in a quandary similar to what you were, wondering where we were or whether we won't, until I worked on this committee and studied, before we even attempted to do this job, we studied the HOA law, which is 209, we studied the property code and the business code. We had to know those things before we could do anything here. And there is one provision in that 209 code that says this very explicitly, that if you have to buy a membership or have a membership in order to own property in either a POA, which is a Property Owners Association, or an HOA, you are under the 209 statute regardless of what you call yourself. So when I read that provision and understood what it meant, it means that we are under 209 or the HOA law, whether we call ourselves nonprofit or profit or whatever it is.
Thank you, Ann.
And I would like to say,
Ann?
excuse me.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt for one reason and one reason only. And that is that that's not what we're here for.
Oh.
I understand that the base that you suggested, not suggested, that you said that you read all of that before the committee even started. That's what we needed to know. And I don't want to stop you because I don't like what you're saying. I want to stop you because that's not really why we're here.
I understand that, and that was one of the items I was going to say, that as a membership organization and under this code, we have a lot of protections from the 209 HOA code that we never had from our own documents. I
Thank you.
appreciate your question.
Thank you.
Okay. We will take concerns about other things than being a homeowners association. Is that you, Chuck?
Okay, on page 5 of 13, the, L, item L, and the very last line there, it says, shall also be subject to applicable city and county zoning ordinances. I think that city probably needs to be taken out as assuming that Brackettville is not exercising extraterritorial jurisdiction into this area. If they are, then we had better start thinking about incorporating ourselves as a city.
Oh, boy, here we go into another
I'm
one.
sorry, yes, I know, that's the, but all I'm saying is that there is a
Well,
problem,
this
there is
comes,
a problem with this
this
city.
comes
being in
directly
here.
out of the law. It's not green anymore, but it's directly out of the law. Also, doesn't Brackettville own a little piece of, wasn't that what you were telling us at one point?
They have extraterritorial
There you
jurisdiction.
go.
Uh,
That's not
Because they
ownership.
are a city, they have extraterritorial jurisdiction for 1 mile outside the city limits, which would take them to Sunset Lane. They have never exercised that extraterritorial jurisdiction. It comes into play if we were to become a municipality, which is nearly impossible. You would have to get their permission first.
Right.
I would suggest, since there are no zoning ordinances in Kinney County, anywhere,
Right.
that and it's a good point, that shall also be subject to any future zoning ordinances, and just cross out
Future
county and
applicable,
city.
future applicable one,
Right,
okay.
to any applicable future zoning ordinances.
You don't even have to use the word future, because if they don't exist, they don't apply.
Right.
Take out Cindy and county. Thank you. Anyone else? This goes to the attorney as soon as we make these changes. I don't know how long she'll have it, but she's been really good about getting things back to us right away.
Is there a timeline?
Well, we'd like to have it ready to be voted on in the next, when the next election would have taken place. We will simply have this going with it.
Please start wording, would have to. There is no election next year, but there will be an annual membership meeting, so with that notice, then we'll have those.
I sure will. Yes,
This is off the subject. If we have an annual meeting, can a motion be made at that meeting and voted on by the people who are present?
Yes.
yes, they definitely
But-
can. Go ahead.
There will be a little complication to that, because you'll have to determine who are the eligible people to vote that are at that meeting. And if you have a husband and wife with a membership, they only have one vote.
Well,
Both of them
in
can
some
hold up
cases,
their hand.
in some
But there is a way
cases,
to do
split.
that, because the list of eligible people should be present at that meeting, but you'll have to go through it, and you'll have to maybe come up front and cast a vote and show that.
And we will have to include people not at that meeting as well. So we are still going to have to mail them or email
No,
them. or
that's
whatever.
not what she asked.
Only those present.
Yeah, but then if you have 100 people show up out of 800, you don't think the other 700 people are not going to be upset about a vote taken without
Oh, I agree with that.
without their having the option to participate in some fashion.
That's not the argument. It can be done.
Yes, and that is dealt with in the state, in the 209, I believe, that if they vote an absentee ballot, that they are not
yeah.
eligible to vote if they come to the meeting.
Well, what we were talking about was someone making a motion at the meeting and whether or not that could go. The point is that you have to determine the eligibility of the people there to vote.
And if you have a quorum.
Well, who could even go there?
Obviously, we haven't
The
figured
number
that out.
of people required, I believe, are also dealt with in the law. So you would have to have a percentage of your people there. So it'd be very difficult to do it at a meeting, but it could be done. Take a lot of organizing if you really wanted to do it.
I'll dig up all those numbers that you can look at and read and then straighten your mind out. I read it.
My mind does not need that.
I read it, no telling how many times before I fully understood.
I understand that.
To simplify, we haven't figured that part out yet.
Well, alternatively, I admire anybody who sat down and read all through all that, and both of you
I did
did.
more than once. First time, second time, third time.
Chuck?
All right, one more?
Yes.
Okay,
You
page
can have two
7.
more if you like.
Oh, okay, page 7 of 13, item number 7. And,
Which number seven?
there are legal questions here involved that I'm not sure that the board really wants to get involved in, but I'm gonna play it out anyway, simply because I think the board probably needs to. And that is, the board of directors may levy an enforcement assessment not to exceed $200 per occurrence.
that's
And then it lists all of these different things, and traffic speeds and regulations are one of the biggies that we have problems with, as was just addressed in the community council.
And you went right by
Where are you?
pet ownership and so forth.
Right,
Index
yes.
7.
The idea, but see, what it amounts to down here is it's,
It says that we can, it doesn't say that we will or that we have to or anything like that.
I understand that, but see, there is a concern in the whole community about the speeding that goes on here, especially in the neighborhoods.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, it's like, every single neighborhood says, slow down, and people aren't doing it.
Have you lived in a neighborhood in your life that didn't have such things going on?
No, ma'am.
All right. I've lived in several different sized cities and even at the end of a lane, and I still had the same things going on. Not only that, they always bring their bass with them, the boom, 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 boom.
I will also know on that page, we have 2 sevens, 7 sevens.
Yeah,
One is a
but-
sub,
One's a subset.
We have 3, it's paid 7 also.
It's,
number 7, at the top of the page
what is it, it's almost under,
it's a subsection of assessment.
yeah.
And the bottom one is just,
Does this mean that somebody who comes on the board who's not a member, you can't assess a fine on them?
No,
We can kick them off.
it doesn't mean you can't charge them, so they you have to catch them, I
No,
guess.
we'll have to fix the numbers.
No, the number's correct.
No, I don't think so, because you have section A with no B, and then
Once again, we can review those.
yeah, we just need.
Yeah, we'll review and fix, that's that's just a technicality, so we'll go through there and
But
recheck
that's
all
one of the technicalities that's really important.
Yep,
And
but easy to fix.
the legal firm might catch something like that. Especially if we direct them to this particular problem.
I'm not gonna talk to them because when I talk to them, it takes even longer for them. I mean, they could bill me for all the time I'm talking to them. Okay, anything else? This is going really well because I didn't take a bathroom break. TMI, right? TMI. Sorry.
Put that in the minutes.
Well, I see everybody trying to find something, but I don't, and Chuck made it.
Speed reader.
Sorry, okay, under building sites on page 9 of 13, item number 2. The third from the last paragraph, it says members may not restrict access.
I'm sorry, I'm not with you.
Okay,
You already addressed that.
It was addressed
Oh.
already.
Yeah, we did have this before, we, Dan
Yeah.
brought it up.
oh, okay, well, apparently I lost something there because it sounds to me like what we're saying is that we're giving these people a deed to a piece of property and then telling them that they cannot keep people off of
We
it.
are not giving them deeds to this property, ever. These are under the colonias fair.
The
sales like
little
that.
placeholder lots,
Yeah,
They already own them, but they will never get them from the fort, ever.
and they have signed documents stating that they may not restrict access and stuff like that.
no, we left that in for our attorney to take a look at it.
Yes.
Because those colonial lots, those non-performance lots, are basically overgrown jungle right now.
Right.
And I'm sure there may be pins out there, I don't know, but no one can tell where one property stops and one ends. Where one privately owned mini lot starts and a fort lot ends out there, because not all of them were purchased.
Right.
So we left that in there to make it easier for members to wander around and bird hunt and whatever, and not have to look for a pin before they walk through.
Well, see, I agree, it needs to be that way, but I want to make sure that the owners of those lots have signed a document stating that they know
Well,
that
that's why we're
they cannot
leaving it in,
restrict
so that we don't
access.
know that that's what the requirement is. We would like the attorneys to take a look at it and let them decide
Okay,
what the requirement is.
These people also pay the taxes on them, so I think that's going to be one of the determining factors. And it's probably.
Y'all keep walking on my property and I'm on the golf course, remember?
Well,
I pay taxes.
I understand that too.
Woody, did you have something?
Yes, I did. Yesterday, I went out and measured from the sidewalk to 83 feet on the end.
Are we talking about your specific property?
Well, yes, I think land is being claimed, Greenbelt is being claimed, about 10 feet of Greenbelt is being
this is-
claimed. That is
I
not,
understand. This is a specific concern that
Well, this
is
is
not
a
in,
concern.
is not in here? Is it,
well, how
is
can
there
you
some?
say it when you're talking about Greenbelt and access and people being denied access?
We're not,
When 10 feet of
we're not
of what
talking about,
property is being claimed, that's not.
I
your-
understand, we're not talking about that.
Okay.
At this
Get it.
point, we are talking about land where people could not build or would ever be able to allow to be built on. That's what we're talking about. If you have that specific concern, you need to take it first to Mr. Lawrence. Yes, Bill?
That last sentence in that same paragraph, that's a false statement.
The Texas, that
The
one?
Texas Colonial Fair Land Sale Act governs the sale and use of non-conforming lots. That's a false statement.
Well,
It does not govern that. It doesn't.
the word govern is what you're objecting to?
It has nothing to do with the non-performance lots.
Well, it does
Well, it
in a
does.
sense.
It does not, ma'am. It does not. The
Explain.
colonial law has to do with the sale, and only the sale of land in
That's true.
counties along the
So
Rio
you're saying
Grande.
take out the word use?
It doesn't even need to, the sentence doesn't need to be there, because that act does not govern the use of non-performance lots on Fort Clark Springs.
You said
What sentence
sale.
are you talking about,
The very last.
The last
sentence.
sentence in paragraph 2.
I'm asking you if we took the word use out, it would still be accurate.
No, it wouldn't.
No, the entire.
Why?
No, it wouldn't, because
Tell me why.
the Colonial Act only applies to developers. period.
No, it applies to individuals also, but it's the sale of that lot is what it applies to.
One more
Only the
time,
sale.
if I take the word used out, I'm still okay then.
I
No.
can sell my
No.
lot in Unit 4 to you.
No,
All right.
you can't do that
Yes, I can.
under the colonial sale unless it
Remember me, I
has
didn't take it.
water and sewer.
Can we
Because that law
Let's
says
highlight
that
it.
you have to supply.
We will,
water and sewer.
gentlemen, we will highlight that for the attorney.
Oh, listen, I was really enjoying this.
It's giving me a headache. We will highlight that for the attorney.
That's the answer.
Yes, I agree, that is the answer.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing it up, though. As badly as I would like to get it all over with. Do we have anything else?
I'm done.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah, they did that.
They fixed what?
Yeah. They took out.
If there are no other changes or additions, and believe me, we'll take them right up till it's time to go to the membership. But we hope that after the attorneys have reviewed it, there won't be that many more changes.
So you're gonna send out this document for a member vote before the annual meeting in 2017?
Concurrence with it.
Yeah,
But there's no election, so
there's no election, so we will send this out in place of the election.
In place of the,
and
It'll
any
be a ballot
concerns that
for
are.
the members to say yes or no. And I don't know if it'll have to be a line item one
Oh, I
because
didn't
some
think
are
so.
mandatory. So maybe it'll just be
Yeah.
explain and say the mandatory changes, you don't have any choice. That's it. To comply with Texas law.
How we do it in the end, we'll still be discussing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
we haven't finalized that part yet.
I was
That's
just curious
logistics.
about how you're gonna do it if there's no election.
We haven't decided yet, and our attorney may have some input on that.
If there's no election, that means we have lots of space in that envelope to do what we feel like doing.
We're required to send a notice of the annual meeting anyway. It will be a part of the notice of the annual meeting.
Does it have to be in a written envelope with a stamp on it, or can it be electronic? The annual meeting, the
No,
notice
not
of it?
yet.
Yes, the annual meeting can be electronically sent.
That's cheaper.
It may be also that, oh, I'm not going there yet. Okay,
Is this the final meeting on this
it's the final workshop, yes.
workshop?
We can have other meetings if the membership feels that we need them after you see what the attorneys have done. If there are major changes from the attorneys, we'll certainly bring that to you, okay?
So when this gets back from the attorney and y'all feel like it's the final copy, are you gonna put it on the e-news, on the website?
Put it
What are
on, we will put it on the website.
on the
We're
website?
trying to get the most recent update on the website.
Okay.
We had some troubles because of hadn't changed the name. But we've got it now.
I think, I'm just throwing this out for you all to consider, that when the winter Texans come back in late October, November, early December, that we schedule another meeting with the board, with them, and in case they have questions that they have not had access to, similar to this one, but we won't probably have that many. But it will give them the opportunity to see one of these, except actually on hard copy of it, and give them time to study it before we actually go to a voting procedure.
Well, Monique, can we put this in as a link in our newsletter?
I think we can.
So that, because a lot of people get the newsletter because they're online, and then once we get it ready to go, we could at least give them advance notice to look it over, and they could spend, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever, looking at it, if we can get it online.
Okay, we spend a lot of time just talking about things that are not worth talking about. I thought you were done.
Well, I was pretty much until the newsletter thing came up. Post that in red so that people will it'll get their attention if you can, please.
Are you talking about the link?
The link to the document so that people will know. It's
Oh,
there
okay.
and you can read it.
Okay. We'll do what we can.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I've got my little gavel and, yes, Woody?
Is there a provision made for those that, do not have a computer? I don't have a computer
Oh,
myself.
absolutely, there is.
All right, will you please explain it?
What it is,
No, how we obtain a copy?
we will send it out. I mean, we have the hard copies, is it called the Bugle still? We can put that out for you. But we can add in the same way that we tell you about a board meeting, we can tell you about this. Or we can, again, do it at a board meeting, and certainly at a community council meeting. Yes,
I drove by the Bugle box yesterday and noticed there's broken glass in it, probably from the
oh
hailstorm.
yeah, I didn't notice
So,
that.
somebody probably needs to get that taken care
You
of.
can always come up to the office and ask for a copy, and the front desk will
We'll
provide you.
find a way to get it out to you, I promise you, because you're not the only one. Okay, one more time, I've got it. We're adjourned.